Okay, well, hello, fourth graders. This lesson is going to be for Monday to kind of help guide you through what the ELA assignment is for today. So you're going to notice on the week at a glance that you're expected to do slides 3 through 4 of the 1.06 Hercules and the online activists. So the reason why I'm doing this video is, one, I would like to read the story to you, but then also I want to kind of walk you through what your assignment is and kind of do that together because it is kind of involved. So let me share my screen with you. So your job for Monday is slides 3 and 4. So this is slide 3. Once again, we're reviewing story elements and looking in the text for details that tell you about those story elements. You're going to do this on your own. I'm not going to do that with you. So now down here it says, think about how the author did this with the book you read. There's nothing for you to do right here. It's just a review of the elements, boys and girls. So don't worry about anything right there. Slide 4 is really the one that I want to go over with you. Okay. So on this slide, detail detection, what you're going to be doing is there's going to be a new story for us down below. And you're not able to do the text selector in the toolbox. It's just for some reason not working on the iPad. It does say circle the setting, put a box around the characters, put stars by the events. So what we're going to do while I'm reading it to you is we're just going to be thinking about all those story elements and kind of checking while we're reading and paying close attention to all those different parts of the story in our head. Okay, because as a reader, you're going to be able to develop those skills to be able to do that while you're reading. So down here it says Story Elements Graphic Organizer. We'll be doing that together. So if you don't want to listen to Miss Woolley read the story, then you can read it on your own and then just skip to the next part of the video. So for right now, I am going to go ahead and read this to you, Hercules and the Online Activists. So let's go ahead and start. What can you do to save the rainforest? This was the question that Andrew, Isabella, Sophia, Michael, William, and Emma were puzzling over together during their online lesson. They had already completed a lot of research on the many problems facing the world's rainforests and were aware of just how big a task this could be. So for right now, I'm thinking, okay, I know the characters. They're doing an online lesson, which means they're probably at home. It's a small question, but really it's a Herculean task, Emma wrote in the online document they were sharing. Their task was to prepare a presentation based on the work they'd already done on the rainforest and try and answer the big question. So friends, this is telling you that they're all in their own house and they're working on an online document together. Okay, so they have to put together this presentation. Herculean task? What does that mean? Andrew retorted. Who are you trying to impress, Emma? Emma felt embarrassed. She'd written the phrase without really thinking. She'd already enjoyed reading about Greek mythology, and she was aware that she often tried to include new words or phrases that she'd learned into her sentences. She wasn't trying to show off. She was just trying to use what she'd learned. William responded before she could. It means that it's a huge task, the kind of thing that only Hercules could perform. You know Hercules, right, Andrew? Look at me, I'm Hercules, coming to save the rainforest. Don't be a dork. The students weren't sure if Andrew's last comment was referring to Emma or William, but they all knew that it was nasty and unnecessary. Let's try and stay focused, said Michael. So let's list the threats the rainforests face. Everyone started to respond. Deforestation, climate change, logging, greed, cattle grazing, soya production, urbanization, palm oil, mining, Hercules, Medusa, Spider-Man. The last 3 words were the only ones that Andrew had contributed. So much for everyone working together. So stop and think for a minute. When I think about what all the characters are doing and what their words they're saying and the actions, seems to me like Andrew is the one that is not staying focused and is not really doing what he needs to be doing. So that's what I was thinking in my head. Come on, Andrew, stay focused, William wrote. Stay focused like Hercules? That's like a Herculean task. He obviously thought this was pretty funny, but the others were getting tired of him and his petty, vindictive, juvenile behavior. Andrew messaged Isabella and Sophia. So friends, one thing you have to understand is they're online right now, so they're chatting online. They're not actually speaking, okay? Let's pretend Emma isn't here, like she's invisible. Then he wrote on their shared document, who wrote about Hercules anyway? No one I know. Then he quickly posted a screenshot of all the students from their online profile pictures, but Emma's picture had been deleted. Bye, he wrote. Emma was very upset. She didn't understand what she'd done to cause Andrew to behave this way. Andrew, cut it out. Stop it. What are you doing? The others had had enough. I think it's time for a face-to-face chat now. That was the teacher, Miss Christie. Andrew gulped before entering the chat. He knew he was in trouble and what he'd done was wrong. Once they could all see each other, Miss Christie said, "So how is it going?" There was an awkward pause. Okay, yeah, it's okay. Andrew, how do you think it's going? He didn't want to look at the others. Is there a reason that you don't want to chat now or even look at us? Miss Christie asked. Anything you'd like to say? Sorry, Andrew mumbled. Sorry? Why are you sorry? Sorry about being mean, he replied. What did you do that was mean? It's okay, Miss Christie, Emma cut in. No, it isn't, Emma. You all know it isn't okay, and Andrew does too. But when you've made a mistake and recognize the mistake, it's best to come clean and try and make things right. Andrew, please finish what you're going to say, Miss Christie said. I'm sorry for being mean to Emma. I know I shouldn't have done this. I thought it was funny. But Andrew stopped again. Sounds like you've been trying to bully Emma, and you've tried to get others to join in. Thankfully, no one else has joined you, Andrew. But I want you to know that this type of behavior isn't acceptable. You wouldn't like to be treated this way. No one would. So please remember to try and treat others the way that you'd like to be treated. Do you understand? Yes, sorry, Emma. It was clear that Andrew felt ashamed of his behavior. He would even be more ashamed if his parents found he would be even more ashamed if his parents found out what he'd done. He was just thinking about this when Miss Christie said, "Now that we've managed to close that Pandora's box," she winked at the students, "you had better get back to using your Midas touch to save the rainforest, which is a Herculean task, you know." So that's the story. So what I'm going to do with you right now, boys and girls, is we are going to fill out the graphic organizer together. Okay, I know this is a little bit longer of a lesson, but I want you to understand how to kind of investigate those story elements a little bit better. So I'm going to do it with you, okay? So as far as characters, Miss Woolley did this ahead of time. So I've got Andrew, Isabella, Sophia. Now, not a lot of these characters played a large role in the story, but they were still part of different events. So these were all the characters from the story. So what I suggest, boys and girls, you're going to have to turn this in. So maybe you stop the video, go ahead and write the characters down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle the main characters because we're going to write a description just of the main characters. So I know that Andrew, Emma, and Miss Christie really were the three main. I mean, the other ones did say a couple things and did a couple things, but really, when you think about the problem and the solution and all the events, these were the three. So you can stop your video, write description of characters. So what I did is I took the three, I just wrote Andrew. What do we know about Andrew? Okay, we know that he's one of the students. So I wrote student. Okay, I'm gonna just scooch out of the way a little bit. We know if I were to describe his character traits, I might say bossy. He was rude until the end, right? He was off task. He was not paying attention to what he needed to be doing. Okay, I even put sassy because he was a little bit sassy. But then I put it because at the end he did kind of change a little bit and grow and change. So I did put regretful. That means he did feel bad about the choices that he made. So like I said, I know you can't write as fast as I can, boys and girls. Yeah, I totally understand that. That's why you're going to stop the video and write and keep up that way. So then we've got Emma, who is the other main character. So if I were thinking about words to describe her and think about her actions and her feelings, I know that she enjoys reading because she shared that at the beginning. She is also a student. So thinking about character traits, I know she's a hard worker from all the things that she shared in the story, all of her work ahead of time. She's focused on her work. And I thought she was a team player. When you think about her working with her classmates. And Miss Christie only came in at the end, but I do think she played an important part in the story. So we are going to add her to the bottom. Miss Christie, where we know she's the teacher. Okay. And then I also put down, she did help solve the problem. So I'm just going to put problem solver to describe her. So now that we are able to identify those main characters, see if I can get this a little clearer for you. Just want to, so if you're stopping the video, friends, and writing, let me get out of the way. You can stop it right there. Oops, sorry about that. Let me push my button and magically it focuses. All right, so we know that another story element is the setting. So I'm going to scooch down to setting. So we talked a little bit about how do we know where it took place? Well, at the beginning, I talked about them doing their online lesson, right? So we know the setting is at each student's, whoops, that's right, home during their online learning, kind of like what we're doing. You don't do chatting or a shared document, but it didn't say Zoom in there, but at the end, that's what I would have called it, that live chat. Each student's home during online learning was a setting. And then if you just did a description, how did I know that? Because there was a computer screen. I know that because there was an online document. Oops, excuse me. Online document. Those are some clues to help you figure out where the setting was. And then there was a chat. So I can do that, kind of like a Zoom. Get that off of there. So you can stop the video here, record. Now I could have let you just do this on your own, friends, but I feel like you wouldn't have had a real good grasp of what the different elements were. So I know this is a lot of work for you and it's going to take a little bit of time, but you can do it. All right, so if I go over to look at that big space, major events. Well, I went through and I kind of tried to break the story into 3 parts, like beginning, middle, and end. So what I'm going to do is just put a B for beginning, an M for events from the middle, and E for the end. So when we're thinking about events from a story, we don't want to retell everything. We just want to grab those major events. All right. So I know this is going to be a little bit of writing, but we need practice with our writing, boys and girls. So this is good for your brains and for your hands and for everything. All right. So when I think about it, when we explain the events we use the characters' names. So I know Emma and her classmates were working together on an online lesson. So let me just turn this for a minute. So Emma and her classmates were working together, keyword, on an online lesson about how to save the rainforest. So that's really the beginning event, that major event in the beginning. I'll turn this in just a minute. But then I thought, well, there's one more thing at the beginning that we could put down for major events. So that was one. The students were sharing ideas, but what was Andrew doing? But Andrew was being rude to Emma. I'm just going to say so we're just going to kind of group everything that he was doing into two short sentences. He was making fun of her and not doing his work, right? So I'm going to just draw a line here to help. There we go. So you can stop your video right there. If I were to have you face to face and we could kind of talk this over together, we would be sharing some of these ideas together. But since we can't be doing that right now, this is a way for us to talk through how to do a story map. So that's the beginning events. So the middle events, I'm just gonna, hopefully I'm not in your way. So I'm gonna draw another line here because that'll chunk off that middle part. So when I think about it, Andrew posted screenshots of all the students, but left Emma out. Oh, he purposely left her out, didn't he? Emma and her friends, Emma was upset her friends told Andrew to stop. So that's kind of that middle chunk of what those major events would be. I know, like I said, this looks like a lot of writing, but your fourth graders, friend, you can do this. Okay, so beginning, middle, and then the end is usually how that problem gets solved and those events that led up to that. So then we think about who came in. In the end, they went live. Miss Christie came on the live chat with the group. And what did she do? She confronted Andrew. That means she asked him what was going on. And she confronted Andrew and made sure. What did he have to do? He apologized to Emma. And hopefully we'll not do that again. So let me scooch out of the way here so you can stop the video and you can write that down. And here's that word again, theme. What did the author want you to get out of this? I am not giving you this one. Think about what the message of the story was. Maybe something with mistakes, maybe something with words that we choose. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to tell me. Maybe there's more than one. All right, so hopefully that helps for Monday. Thank you for being such amazing readers and writers. You've got this.